Hello again, math friends. Today we are going to be looking at finding slope given 2 points on a line. So let's jump in and get started. First of all, let's talk about what slope is. Slope is the amount of slant or tilt in a line, whether it has very steep tilt or very slight tilt like this line does. Slope is always going to be one of four things. It is going to be positive, where it rises from left to right. It could be negative, which means it falls from left to right. Slope can be zero, which means it's a horizontal line. And slope can be undefined, which means it's a vertical line. So slope will always be one of those four things. All right, let's jump in with a problem here. Here we have 2 points that are on a line, and we want to know what the slope is. The formula for the slope is the difference in the y's over the difference in the x's. Okay, so y2 would be the y coordinate of the second point, so that's a 4, minus the y coordinate in the first point, which is 2, over the x coordinate in the second point, over the x coordinate in the first point. Then 4 minus 2 is positive 2. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. I want you to see that it doesn't matter which order I go in. If I calculated the slope by doing 2 minus 4, 2 minus 4, difference in the y's, then if I start with the 2, I have to start with the 5 on the x coordinate, and I would do 5 minus 3. On the top, I get negative 2. On the bottom, I get positive 2, which is negative 1. So it doesn't matter which point you start with, as long as whichever y you start with that same x when you do the x's. Okay, so here, oh, and by the way, here, this means that our line is going to slant down or fall from left to right. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. We'll define the slope. It's the difference in the y's, so we have negative 2 minus whatever that second y coordinate is, and in this case it's negative, so we're subtracting a negative, over negative 1 minus negative 4. The difference in the y's over the difference in the x's. And make sure that you do it in the same order. If I start with negative 2 and subtract negative 6, I have to start with negative 1 and subtract negative 4. So up here on top we get negative 2. Let's see, negative is plus 6. Negative 1 minus negative 4, that's negative 1. Negative is plus 4. So on the top, negative 2 and positive 6 is positive 4. And negative 1 and positive 4 is positive 3. So our slope is 4/3. That's a positive value, so that means that our line is slanting up or rising from left to right. In this problem, we're going to start with negative 4, subtract 1, first y coordinate minus the second y coordinate, and then we've got 4 minus the next, and because it's negative, we have to subtract the negative. Then we end up with negative 5 on the top, and we get 4 plus 5 on the bottom, and so we get negative 5/9 as our slope. Okay, let's see what happens here. We have m equals the difference in our y's, -5 minus -5. Have to, again, be careful because our first term is negative and our second term is negative, and we have to subtract the first term minus the second term. On the bottom, we get 2 minus the next x is -1. On the top here, we get -5 plus 5. And on the bottom, we get 2 plus 1. -5 plus 5 is 0. And we get 3 on the bottom. That's 0. 0 divided by any number, or 0 times any number, is always 0. Since our slope is 0, this means that we have a horizontal line passing through these 2 points. Okay, in this problem, first y minus the second y, first x minus the second x, we get -2 plus 3. 6 minus 6 is 0. This is 1 over 0, and 0 can never be in the denominator of a fraction, so this is undefined. That means we have a vertical line. All vertical lines have undefined slope. All right, in this next problem, we've got fractions. Don't let the fractions scare you off. We have the first y minus the second y over the first x minus the second x. When we are dealing with fractions, adding or subtracting, and let's fix this here first. Might be a little easier for us to see that we're really adding 1/5. We need a common denominator. The common denominator for 3 and 5 is 15. And we get, we multiply the 3 by 5 to get 15. So we take the -2 and multiply it by 5. We get -10. Here we multiply the 5 by 3. Have to do the same thing on the top. Let's go ahead and do down here below. The common denominator here is 4. We multiply that 2 by 2 to get 4. Multiply the top by 2. Here we already have fourths. So up here on the top, we end up with -7/15 over 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. This is a complex number. We don't leave an answer with a fraction that has fractions in the numerator and or denominator. So what this really means is -7/15 divided by 1/4. And we know when we divide fractions, we change to multiplication and write the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is 4 over 1. And so now we get -28 over 15. Okay, that wraps it up for this episode. Check out all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like this video. Also remember, we have free interactive math activities at our EdTech website, https://edtech.dnjdesigns.org. Lots of stuff on there for drill and practice, interactive activities that can help you out. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode.
If you liked this video, please click on the thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please click on the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when new videos are posted, please click the bell.